Hey everyone, welcome to the first in our new series on navigating the wild world of the Atlassian Marketplace, shifting, chopping, changing all over the place. And how are we going to do it? We're going to use customer success analytics. Hey, Kate.
Hello, how are you, everybody? So, I reckon the reality, though, is if you're a marketplace partner at the moment, gold, silver, whatever, you've probably felt it. Things are moving fast. And so, what we wanted to do with this series is we wanted to use a background of running and being a partner, also working within Atlassian, and this just trying to understand the world and the way that's moving through. So we want to help you stay calm, focused, and be really strategic and methodically work this through.
So the intent here is to give you a high level view over this. So over the next couple episodes, we are going to go deeper into key topics like migration, stability, upsell targeting, looking for churn signals, and how to structure your customer focused teams around this data and how they're going to use it.
Yeah, and I think let's be real, this year there's been a lot happening, a lot of changes. Whether it's more than expected or not is a bit of a moot point in my world. But, just the recent announcement with data center uh, sunsetting, we've got Connect apps winding down and moving to Forge and all of that and what that means. We've also got our pricing models evolving and app additions, multi instant deals, usage based pricing, all of these sorts of things are starting to emerge and we've got to start thinking about it.
And it's not just a technical change, which, there are plenty of those too, but there's a lot of strategic turmoil at the moment. And if you haven't spent time thinking about this before, maybe it's time to start thinking a little bit differently. Force yourself to think about customer comms. What are your expansion plans with your current customer base? How are you going to protect the revenue that you currently have? And how you structure your teams that are looking after your customers. And to me, that's a really important one. Is it's not just thinking about what can we do, it's who do we have on the team and how are we going to sort of wrap them around our customers in a way that's good for everybody. And that really is where what we're talking about today. This is where customer analytics comes in. And no, we don't mean just like dashboards necessarily. We're talking about crystal clear signals that help you and your teams out.
The reality is, when we think about this, we've got to learn who to prioritize. We've got to focus the limited time and energy in ways that are actually work for you. I think we've got to get ahead of the churn risks with the changes with migrations, etc. And I think we need to support and learn to support upgrades only when there's a real product fit, because otherwise everyone's just wasting their time because they're just going to head back down the other way again, which gets demoralizing.
Yes, it can. I've been there. So we've spoken to a lot of marketplace partners that are starting to think about customer success and hiring for customer success roles or doing a hybrid support success sort of role. But at a high level here, we're talking about we're starting to think in that way, right? So we're not just saying like we're going to put someone in this seat or just assigning customer success to whoever on the team can take it on. It's good to have someone on that, but deciding who can do this, who's a good fit for it, where they're going to focus, and then taking a step back a bit and saying like, all right, how are we going to arm them with the data that actually helps them find the right customers and spend the time where there's the most value to us as a company and to our customers.
And I think it's also, Peter, learning the ways of which it actually works for you, your customer base,
Mm.
your systems and your practices. And I think that's where it's all got to be pulled together. And it's not just about the vanity metrics and having cohort stuff and all of that. It's actually about knowing who to target when. And
Yeah.
that's what this is all about. And this is not about product analytics, it's about customer success analytics. So slight difference, but really important when we're talking in this game. So if we had to think, for example, so maybe let's just run through some examples, right?
Mm.
So let's just thinking with the migrations. So we've got a lot of partners who have existing DC products.
Mm.
They've already understand what happens with people moving to cloud, orgs moving to cloud. But we've also seen lots of churn over the last few years as the change and move to cloud's been emerging. So it's all about protecting the existing revenue stream you've got, and then trying to those that are moving, trying to make sure you go with them. And we'll do more. I think we've got lots of videos to do on this stuff. So we're going to have, let's say, so we know we've got a group of customers who are moving from DC to cloud. So some are just going to glide through. They recognize your value. They're just going to keep you and on you go. Some are going to stall, and it's going to be hard to communicate with some of them. And then you've got some who will just decide, geez, the features aren't right, and they're just going to be gone. You're just going to lose them. So those ones to me are, there's the silent ones you worry about. Don't you, Pete? You go, ugh.
Yeah. I'd add one more that you talk about quite a lot, which is the approach of, the admin comes in and just isn't sure whether or not there's value in this product. So we'll cut everything and see who screams, right? Like, so, like, there's also that approach. So I think we're kind of painting like a dire picture here, right? Where some customers are just going to disappear on you, but that doesn't have to be the reality. Thankfully, we have a strong opinion that product engagement, how customers use your product, is like the lifeblood of your business. So, you do have data that you can track, whether it's key features that your key accounts are using, whether it's usage that is consistent and stable or growing in the right direction, pre or post migration, and whether just is all of this trending up or down, basically. If particular two people in particular listen to this, and I say it again, where we've heard this before, the number going up good, number going down bad. I think that's the simplest way to look at it if you're tracking things like engagement with key features over 30, 60, 90 days as they're leading up to these decisions, and any like key milestone dates, renewal dates, that kind of thing.
And I don't think you need huge CS teams of like 5 people all hanging out on all of this. What you need is a signal. So it's the signal, hey, this account needs a check-in and this one doesn't. So it's as simple as that. Simple as that.
So that's on like the migration front. I think this is the one that excites me the most. I think there's so much opportunity and leverage in this, is the app additions, that change in how marketplace partners are able to sell their product, really, right? So standard and advanced plans are now live. Existing customers can stay on standard unless you give them a reason to switch. I just think there's so much opportunity in this, but you need to know what is driving that value to get someone to make that jump from standard on up.
You do. And I'm a big believer in understanding where the value is and understanding where the boundaries are. And it's a mixture of stuff, but a big one, of course, is the features and their usage. But it can be quite nuanced. But you will have an understanding of what are your features that you think are the ones. You talk to your existing customers where you can. But it's about understanding, for example, the automations, the integrations, and understanding your power user behavior. That's a really big one. So to me, they're the accounts where a well-timed advanced trial really starts to actually make sense.
So yeah, it's kind of taking the guesswork out and the one size fits all, send everyone the same email sort of approach, where you get these, you actually have evidence, right? So you have proof backing the decisions to nudge people at the right time. And just to get really, really granular on that, what we talk about too is accounts that are using the key features, but then there's also those accounts that aren't, right? And that's a good way to sort of look at this, that you may want to drag someone up and into that advanced sort of level by nudging them to use those.
That's right. And that's where your marketing people come in. So yes, it can be CS, but it's generally you would probably actually with your marketing and how you're positioning stuff in your in-app. But I digress, Pete. I digress. All right. Stay on topic, Kate. So for me then, it's about going from the data, the signals you get, to your strategy and what this enables. So to me, it's all about being strategic. So it's not just about operational stuff, because as we said before, you've got to know where to assign your team resources. It gives you your signals for what you develop for your PMs and your engineering teams. You then are able to justify your CS roles based on need, rather than this blunderbuss of you've got 100 enterprise and you're going for all of them. There's one person, it's just too hard. And we hear this all the time, don't we, outside of the marketplace? We work with a lot of CS people, and we've got people who are holding 150, 200 accounts. That's in their remit. So, that's what we want to kind of avoid. So it's basically your roles based on your real need. And then over time, you build in those repeatable plays, and you don't have to overcomplicate this stuff. Repeatable plays for migration support, addition upgrades, renewal saves. These are all the way that you get you get the nuances. But I'm rabbiting now, aren't I, Pete?
Well, I think it's an important point, though, right? That you don't have to do everything all at once. And I think really a strong approach to this is to be pretty ruthless in how you segment your customers, narrow it down to, I mean, everyone's heard of the 80-20 rule. It's like 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your customers. Who are they? And start there. And so it doesn't have to be, you don't have to eat the entire elephant in one sitting, basically. And so over time, as you go through this with your high value customers, that becomes practice and it becomes your customer success engine. It's the way that you work. But you have to kind of iterate through that. I have yet to see a perfect template that any team can just sort of lay over the team that they already have and everything just works. It's products are different, teams are different, but the data can help you understand what to do, and then B, scale what's working. You can stop guessing. You can stay focused on doing the high impact work. And I think important to note that even with a small team, right, if you stay focused on that high value activity and high fidelity signals, I'll say. So I think we're going to wrap there. It's kind of the overview, thinking strategically about all these changes that are coming in the marketplace. Of course, underpinning all of this, use that data that you do have.
Absolutely. And I think in the next few videos, let's talk about some of this stuff in more detail. How to build those, for example, migration health segments, how to model for churn signals, how to run a prove it QBR for your at-risk renewals. Love those, because everyone loves a quick business review, but really using data and being proactive, and how to build your CS structure in a partner setting. So really keen to maybe dive into those a bit more, Pete.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it. And if you are watching this, you are in the Atlassian Marketplace and you feel like you need a little bit of help to understand what's working or even just where to start with this, please just give us a holler. We're at acoil.com. You know where to find us on LinkedIn as well. No pitching, just examples, and always happy to talk.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
See ya.